Let's welcome Minister and Evangelist Marcus Ross. Folks, if you're watching, then remember, God is watching. God is putting you to the test to see if you're going to pass with flying colors, not to be a pest. God is choosing you out of the world. If you still want to find deliverance, God has saw to it that He's going to give a pass and interference so you can see what it is that you must see that you haven't saw before your eyes. You need to get in front of the prize. You need to stop getting behind the mark and you need to get in front of it so you will see what face value it is to see, so you will not be misleaded. God wants you to see where the cause is so you can let God cure the root to the cause. Y'all, we need to stop acting like we're on menopause, because if you do that, you're going to not let God do what you want Him to do as far as being able to put a cure. You need to take an ear to hear what the Lord has to say, and you need to stop giving into a play. Y'all, so many of you give into like playing action where you just don't want to give satisfaction to the word because your character has formed into a bad character. Your character has became a character flaw, and it's like you're now needing to look and see a different route. The movement must stimulate growth. If it's not stimulating growth, then you're going to have pain, and it's not going to lead to any eternal gain because your heart is still in the wrong place because it's still slain. You need to see what God has made plain so you will see how He produces the rain to fall. Once the rain falls, you will see where you've been and where you have failed and where now you can excel. You can excel to the top. You can be on top of that mountain. Instead of the mountain being on top of you, you can be on top of that mountain. Y'all, if we look at things in a lower height, you're going to come out with a lower result. Y'all, you need to stop looking at sight, because when you do that, you're producing a false gospel. When you do that, you're producing a false result. You have to make sure that you put on God's shoes instead of your own shoes, because when you put on your shoes, they will never match, because there's nothing that is connecting to the match. And the right proper match is God's protocols. Once you tie into God's protocols, you will have connectivity. You will have the right activity, because now you are assigned the right position that call for the right practice. We have to know we're abiding in our office. We have to know where our rank is so we don't stink. If you don't know your rank, then you are not going to be able to produce any great aroma. And when you stink, no one's going to want to be around you. People are going to be out of your range. People are going to want to keep a distance, because this is what you put into existence. You have put the shame to where now it's making you lame and crooked, to where now, look who shook it. It was the devil. The devil shook you to where now you're double-crossed. Instead of you walking to the cross, you're being double-crossed because you're being double-minded. And with double-mindedness, it steers the wheel for fake imaginations that give themselves a fake identity and a label for themselves. You must position yourself to receive God's signal of peace. Before He wants you to go through, you have to see how you can look at your own perspective. And you must see, am I in the right position? Am I in the right accord where God has suited me at and from? Because if you don't know where you are at, you're not going to know where the shepherd wanted you at. You're not going to know where the shepherd is because you don't know where you are. You have to position yourself so you'll be able to receive God's signals. Because if you don't put your position to receive His signal, then it's because all these imaginations and distractions that are putting a stronghold barrier between you and God. So this is why you are not looking and seeing positive results happen, because you are closing the door from letting these things happen. You have to open the door. You have to be able to stay connected to the Bible reading. Stay connected to worshiping God in song, so you will see that you were wrong in your own calamity and destruction. from just praising the world and praising those worldly, not like songs. God wants you to go to Confession Avenue and turn right on Grace Overpass, to where the old you who thought you knew is no longer you, and now it is inside the wastebasket, ready to go inside the casket. You have to be able to apply to God's conditions, where the movement will stimulate growth of its position to its called practice. Without growth, you can expect no gain steering the wheel, to where you're not going to be able to receive the proper meal. Instead, you will just be tasting the menu, but not tasting the actual fruit that comes of the product. We have to know where our help comes from. Like David, our help cometh from the hill, Psalm 121. The equation can have you come out in holes of agony pain if you continue to not let God pay the depth of what you just brought yourself in, to where sin just dwelled in. You have to let the equation match with the numbers. If the numbers don't match, then it's like you just set a match on yourself, saints. You got to quit feigning, and you got to start letting God proclaim inside of your mind, to where it's going to start to formulate a product that's going to be a successful one, that's going to be compatible with God's holiness, to where you're going to be able to unlock the doors, because now that agony of pain is going to turn into a personal intimacy of God gain. And now I'm going to start off in the scripture. I want us to start in Psalm 2 verse 11. And the word of God said, "Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling." Serve the Lord with fear. You have to know that you have to lose your life. If you are bringing on this fake joy that is ran upon these imaginations that are still steering the wheel, then you're not getting with the right deal, because you are just focusing on the fruit and you're not focusing on the spiritual. You're focusing on the physical, carnal-minded ways of living, to where this is why you keep shivering, because you're not getting with God's practice. God's practice isn't called for whenever you worry. When you worry, that is saying God is lying. But when you have fear of the Lord, that is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs chapter 9 verse 10. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. You must rejoice that you have fear built up in the Lord. Because when you have fear built up, it's like now you know not to look behind and look at your rear. Because when you look behind, that's when you start to find trouble brewing, because things are going to start to come together like the devil himself to make you not pursuing. He's going to start to say, I want you to just start veering over here to the left, when God wants you to veer over here to the right. But don't you know, God likes to build up fear, so you will see how sincere you must be, so you'll be able to endure. God wants you to formulate this product. He wants you to see, this is my strong hand, and this is your hand. Now, whose hand is greater, yours or mine? And of course, folks a lot of times say, oh, mine is, I see what I need to do. And God's like, no, you don't. If you saw what you need to do, you probably wouldn't be watching this video right now. You need to be able to count your blessings. God has a purpose for everyone. God has a purpose. Fear for itself won't give it the power it needs, but instead you will give it. Fear for itself won't give it the power it needs. So you give power to the fear. You give it a name. So whatever you put into the product is how the product's going to come out. So it doesn't matter what things say. It's all about you putting it into action for it to play, like a cassette that plays forward. You have to be able to move forward. You have to be able to let things flow in motion, just like the ocean that moves. You need to move. God won't move if he doesn't see you move. Now, if you move, God will be able to throw his hand into the equation, into the formula. So he'll be able to let things be ordered the way it is. Just like in a court, you have the judge order in the court. God is having his order produced inside of this arena. The favor of God is found in the fear of God. Blessed is that man who fears the Lord. Short message today. Psalm 128 verse 1 reads, Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord, that walketh in his ways. Blessed is that servant over there that fears me, for I will be able to plant sincerity inside his vineyard, to where he will want to continue to get near to me, because he has believed on me. God is pleased. God is pleased whenever you start that first practice from the called position. This is usually the first step of your deliverance. Whenever you fear God, you can already know that's a symptom of you already getting outside of the world, you getting away from worldliness, because worldliness is not fearing the Lord, which is the beginning of stupidity. So whenever you don't fear God, you love your life more than losing it. And when you love your life more than losing it, then you are losing your salvation instead of gaining your salvation. God has came so you can lose your life in order to save it later. Whenever you want to hold on to things, you want to hold on to possessions, you are displeasing God, because God didn't want you to come here for you to serve the father of the devil, because the father of the devil has disguised himself into making you seem to think that all these idols are okay. But no, God didn't say it was okay. God said that you cannot have other gods before him. You cannot serve these carved images. But what do folks do? Oh, look at this Grammy. Oh, look at this Oscar I won. Look at this trophy. Look at my shelf of trophies, guys. Look what I did. But what about what God did? What about what God said? What about his word? Folks just want to blaspheme against God. Folks just want to say, you God, I want to push you over to the sideline. God, I want to make you my second string quarterback. And God's like, well then let me have my quarterback. Let me have my quarterback in my hands, since you want to dig your head back in the sand like a tin can. Y'all, we need to get with the right spirit and stop letting spirits bring us down in the hostage of the pit where we keep getting hit. We need to fight. We need to fight the fight of faith and combat against these rulers of darkness. We need to combat against spiritual wickedness in high places, Ephesians 6:12. We need to quench these fiery trials of the devil, y'all. We need to get with the program that God has put us towards, and we need to accept his authorization plan instead of our own. Because y'all, we are not our own. We are not our own. And we cannot support the foes of our own household, because they are going to make us fold if we accept that mold. I'm going to end it right there.